So we've got a little project going on today, and we're working on the PlasmaCam. So right now we're in the Design Edge software, and we're going to go through the process I go through when I am given just a template of something that needs to be cut. So in this case, let's import this. So what I did was I actually took a picture of the part. It was a template cut in wood. This needs to be cut out in 1/2" steel, but I went ahead and just took a picture of it. So we need to pick our background colors. I don't know if you guys saw that. So basically what we're going to try and do is tell the Design Edge software where the files are. So I don't know if you noticed, I just drew a rectangle around, and as I hover over, if you look to the right, you'll see that it's changing which colors show up on the picker, right? And so by drawing a rectangle around the parts that I wanted to get rid of, it just picked multiple colors at the same time. And I can go back and forth and try and clean this up as best I can, but I'm satisfied with this. It gives me a pretty good view of what needs to happen. The design itself is mostly aesthetic. The only critical dimension is the dimension between the two sides, and I know that is 19 3/16. So we'll go ahead, we'll let, it's solid, we'll go ahead and let the Design Edge software do its thing. And so here's our pattern. Now looking at it, we know that the wood itself left a lot of artifacts. So let's clean up as many of these artifacts as we can. What I do, I'm just going to draw rectangle. Whoa, I don't want to do that. That one's going to clean up a little too much. We got to watch to make sure we don't remove things that we want to keep. Because it looks like, even though I thought most of this was, yeah, see, that's one piece. I thought it was contained a little better. Apparently it's not. So we got to watch for that kind of thing. Well, that's okay. We just work our way through it. We're just trying to clean up any of the little things that were in the photograph that we don't want to show up when we do our cutting. Okay, so I think, alright, that's everything. We can start to see here that we've got a few things in here that are leftovers, but we're not too bad. I also noticed when I took the picture that we weren't squared up very well. Right, so let's start with just a simple thing. Let's do some things that will help us clean up the lines. Or not. That won't work. Okay, so let's see. The first thing that I would probably do is I want to get this squared. So I'm going to, well, yeah, maybe not. I think one of the things that I need to do is start getting, let's get this all into one piece. Because as of right now, we're looking at several pieces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's 6 pieces. You know what? Let's do this the easy way. Let's start by, oops, let's cancel that. We know that this corner here and this corner here should be a straight line. And we want something that is perpendicular to the midpoint of this. Okay, so this part really was just to help us line everything up, since we know that we're not actually we're not square. But what we're going to do, let's just use the mirror function. Let's clean some of this junk up. Right. So I don't need this. I'll go away. Let's take a look. We'll zoom in. We're going F1 to zoom in. Let's get rid of this thing here. F2 to zoom back out. Okay, so this is what we're left with. So it's not terrible. couple of things we can do. I think one of the first things, let's use the curve tool. Let's see if we can start to redraw this. And again, we know that this is mostly decorative, right? I'll zoom in here, make sure we're not getting that circle going the wrong direction. Let's see, we want it straight from about there. Okay, so there's our curve, and then we're going to go a straight line. Zoom in so we get to the right spot. Alright, zoom out. And I'm using the snap to corner function, or snap to node function here. Alright, let's straighten this part out here. Okay, so from here, oops, let's take this whole thing again, and we're going to do our curves again. Let's start up here. We'll zoom in. Oops. Sorry about that, folks. Tell you what, let's start at this part. So there's our line where we went in, and I am using that snap to node function, so it's actually helping out quite a bit. We'll zoom out. Let's see where we're headed with this. We're going here, and then we're going to start to come around. And you'll notice if you start to go too far, you're going to blow out your curve, right? So you may have to go a little bit at a time, right? This has actually got me a little concerned that it's the snap to function's not helping here. It's actually hurting a little bit because it's, yep, let's remove from here. We're going to start, I'll turn it on and then I'm going to turn it back off as I find the right spot. I think I'm going to do it here. Alright, now let's turn that. It's not letting me. I'm using. Oh, there we go. I was using the wrong key. So we'll start to draw this along here. And now it's not actually forcing me to go to a certain spot anymore, which, you know, is helpful for part of it, right? Being able to snap to a particular spot can be very helpful. And we'll start again. So this time I want to turn it back on, so I pick up from where I left off. But I'm going to turn it back off. And obviously the smaller that you do the curve, your points, the more you can, oops, the more that you'll get that arc. Actually, I think I went one too far with that. We'll turn it back on. And off again, and we're just about there. Okay, now from here, we'll just do a straight line. We'll take us back to our beginning. Oops, there we go. Okay, so, in theory, if we've done this right, we'll select this guy and we'll delete it, and we'll be left with our park. Now there might be some leftovers in here. Let's take a look, because I'm not sure I like this part here. So something didn't quite match up. Now we're zooming in and you notice it didn't connect, so we'll use the X key and we'll tell it to extend. and then we'll trim out. There we go. Alright, so it trimmed out the part that didn't work. We'll press F5, bring it all together again, and let's join it all together. I don't know if you guys remember from the last video, I just used the J key, or you can use the button. We'll use the button today. Link. There it is. So now we have our part. It's not exactly how I wanted it, but it's close. So let's clean it up a little bit. We'll smooth it. I think I'm just going to do 0.005, 5,000 smoothing. Okay, and there it is. Now we smoothed it out a little bit. Not too terribly bad. So what we can do is we'll copy from this corner, we'll put it right back at the same corner, we'll press escape to stop, and then we'll just use the mirror function from that corner to this corner. So if we've done this right, which, hey, I think I found a little artifact in there. Yep, okay, good. So now we should be able to just use the X key again, or we can use the scissors. So you can see the trim extend, and we'll trim those parts out. Press escape, and we'll join them together, and there is our completed part. Not sure I like every bit of this right now, but that was much easier than trying to recreate that whole thing. So there's a few things that we'll do to clean this up, straighten it out, but that's the basics. We got the cut piece off the table. It's that 1/2 inch bell mount piece. And I flipped it over so we could take a look at the dross and how the cut went. I noticed also, let's zoom in, we're doing all manual stuff today on the phone, that as it came off the cut, you'll see it didn't quite finish. So we'll have to clean up a couple things here. But the interesting thing about when you've got things dialed in right, let's take a look at this dross. There's nothing to that dross. It just comes right off. I mean, frankly, I grabbed some of it here. I did it with my finger earlier. Yeah, look at that, just came right off. So, cut's pretty good. I'll bring you back once I got the thing cleaned up and out of here. And there we have it. Got it cleaned up. Let's take a look at that cut quality too. Manual zoom, sorry guys. Look at that. How's that for a cut? I'm pleased. Let's go over to this side so you can get an idea. That works out pretty good. All right, so that concludes the video for this week. Hope you all would follow along and learn something a little bit, and thank you for watching.